Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. On today's show, Kyle Bauer visits with Robert Atchison with the Kansas Forestry Service. Then enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Next, Kyle is back with Monty Teeter with Teeter Irrigation, and then see why attention to detail and quality can make all the difference to livestock producers. We'll end today with this week's Plain Talk with Kyle and Duane. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum. Growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first today, Kyle and Robert Atchison discuss how forestry in Kansas is more aptly named agroforestry.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer visiting with Robert Atchison. He is with the Kansas Forestry Service. Bob, explain to the viewers who the Kansas Forestry Service is.
We're a state agency that's housed within the Department of, actually within the College of Agriculture at Kansas State University. And we provide public service to the people of the state in a variety of ways, and the particular area that I work in is within our rural forestry programs. So we're working with farmers and ranchers throughout the state and other landowners to help them manage their woodlands and their shelter belts and provide professional forestry advice in the way they do that.
Well, and I know this isn't the first time you heard it, but you think about Kansas and forests, it's an oxymoron.
Right, yeah. It's an interesting place to practice forestry, and a lot of what we do here is what you would describe as agroforestry, where we're using trees and shrubs integrated into to modern agricultural systems so that we get both conservation benefits as well as production benefits for our farmers and ranchers.
And truly, by doing that, you provide on both ends, both getting stuff planned, planted, and harvested.
Yeah, we do it from start to finish, and we try to always provide our professional knowledge and match that with what the objectives are of the particular landowner. Some may just be interested in wildlife. Some in the Northeast and the eastern part of the state may be interested in timber harvest. A lot of people are interested in recreation, and so we can actually manage our woodlands and our shelter belts based upon whatever that particular desire and interest of that landowner is. And a lot of times there'll be multiple interests and objectives that a landowner will have.
You have a few times there's fees, but most of this, the fee is minimal.
Yeah, we don't charge for our services. We also work on behalf of the Natural Resource Conservation Service as kind of a technical service provider. And so what that enables us to do is to funnel financial assistance to help farmers and ranchers and landowners who might want to plant trees or establish a shelter belt or do water quality work by establishing trees along a stream side.
One last thing quickly, you grow and sell a lot of trees every year.
We do, around 300 to 400,000 depending upon the year, and those trees go throughout the state to plant new shelter belts, and more we're seeing trees that are going along our rivers and our streams to try to stabilize those stream banks because of the significant water issues we have in this state. And we want to stabilize those stream banks, keep the soil there, and not in our reservoirs where we're losing water capacity.
We're visiting with Robert Atchison. He is with the Kansas Forestry Service. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways, of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply. This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Teresa Brandenburg is joining us. She is from Osborne County and serves as the chair of the Kansas Soybean Expo Committee. And we just wrapped up the Kansas Soybean Expo for 2017, and looks like another success once again.
Yeah, we had a great crowd. A lot of farmers came out to really get together and network with each other, and we were really, really pleased with the attendance here in Topeka.
What did the discussion focus in on during the expo?
We always try to make sure that our expo agenda is really focused on what producers need to be productive and successful over the next year. So we started off the morning with some commission partner updates. We heard from the Soy Transportation Coalition. We also heard from IGP Institute talking about some of the things that have been going on with those organizations. And then we heard from our K-State guys. Really just some great research going on for soybeans there. We heard from Dr. Bill Shapaw, and he was talking about searching for genes and new gene combinations. And then we heard from Dallas Peterson, and he talked to us about weeds, the arch nemesis of every farmer, and how we can and really move forward in combating the weed issue here in the state of Kansas. We changed some things this year, but still a lot of really great recognition happened. At the luncheon, we heard from Tracy Streeter from the Kansas Water Office, and he spoke in depth about a lot of the water issues facing all parts of the state of Kansas, which was really great information to hear from him, and fielded a few questions from the audience as well. We also heard from Kevin Scott today. He is from South Dakota, a farmer from South Dakota, who is on the ASA governing committee. And then we recognized some board members that were retiring, and some DuPont Young Leaders, and some folks within the organization that have done some things over the past year.
And it's always a chance to honor those as far as what they grew last year during the yield and value contest.
This year we actually made a little change. Instead of honoring those yield contest winners at our luncheon, we gave them their own session in the afternoon so that we could really give them the recognition we feel like they deserve. None of anything that we do would mean anything if we didn't have the soybeans to market and to feed and all of those things. So we really wanted to give those guys that were really getting exceptional yields the kind of recognition they deserve. So we had an afternoon session where that was the whole focus, was talking about those yields and what the producers are doing around the state to meet those yields. And it was really great to see some of the successes we had. It was a great year for soybeans.
Teresa, as always, a pleasure, and congratulations on another successful Kansas Soybean Expo.
Thanks so much.
That is Teresa Brandenburg. She is the chair of the Kansas Soybean Expo Committee and a soybean producer from Osborne County, and she joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more Farm Factor as Kyle visits with Monty Teeter.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide. Presented by Lucas Oil. Featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV. The all-new Better Horses Network.
This segment brought to you by SureCrop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now Kyle and Monty Teeter discuss Teeter Irrigation's Dragon Line technology.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer visiting with Monty Teeter. Monty has been with Teeter Irrigation for 40 years, but in recent times, Monty, you've developed a new technology for center pivot irrigation that is probably as revolutionary as center pivot is. Can you explain it to us?
I sure can. When I say we came up with the idea, it's an idea that's been around for many years, but it's never been able to be perfected. Because of the time and situation of the products that have been made. But upon the invention of the pressure compensating emitter, which means you remove your regulators and nozzles from a pivot, and when you reach 6 psi in the tubing, it delivers the exact amount of water to each emitter out there on the system, regardless of elevation. So when that was developed, it took about 4 years to get the product made for me, the style that we needed, a year to try to get someone to try it, and without anyone taking that up because we didn't have it proven that it would really work, we bought a farm with just 200 gallons a minute on 2 circles, and we set off to try that and to prove that it worked. And we've grown 4 corn crops now from that and 3 wheat crops.
Truly the technology is relatively simple after they developed the pressure compensating emitter. Basically, as you're at the center of the pivot, the hoses are shorter than out at the end.
That's true. The length of the hose dictates the amount of water flow that is delivered to the field. So at the start, some of the tubing may only be a foot long, and at the end it could be up to 100 feet long, depending on the application of the GPM of the system.
Now, you talked about wells as small as 200 gallons a minute, but if you have more, you can put on more, or it just isn't necessary at all?
Well, we believe that you can use 30 to 40% less water and get the same yield, almost the same yield. And K-State's done a good job of promoting this or proving what we have said. We only have 200 gallons a minute on our farm, and we're raising over 230, 40 bushel corn. So with saying that, people that have 600 gallons a minute could probably raise almost 2 circles if they have tight soil. Sandier soil, of course, would be a little less, but when you think about the savings of 20 to 30% of the water in the whole area of southwest Kansas, it would be a huge number that would extend our aquifer many, many years.
Even after they developed the emitter for you, though, or you adapted that technology, there was still some tweaking that had to be done to fit the questions and the needs of the producers. At this point, you've pretty much addressed all of those things.
Yes, we've developed 4 different styles of application of our unit, using the use of Dragonline from a high profile to a low profile to accommodate any crop. We have addressed being able to reverse with the system without kinking the tubing. We can water down to 10 degrees without shutting off, because on low application wells we need to water in the wintertime. We keep the water off the foliage. We deliver fertilizer directly to the soil. So we just reduce all the evaporation and sun loss and wind loss that you normally would have. So I guess in a sense we bank water rather than evaporate it water. That's what we do.
We're visiting with Monty Teeter. He's with Dragonline or Teeter Irrigation in southwest Kansas. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, stay tuned for more Farm Factor after these words from our sponsors.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor. Let's meet a sheep farming family that also raises cattle and has learned that even in a down market, quality will always sell first.
Bigger isn't always better. Quality matters more than quantity. A generational sheep farming family applies those lessons to their lives and their Angus cattle.
One of my brothers and I, we started talking about why aren't we in the cattle business? People always just say, well, sheep and cattle aren't compatible. Well, that's a bunch of hooey.
In fact, the Hamiltons are proof that two species can share more than just land in the resources they use and the satisfaction they bring to the consumer.
We know from our experience with sheep, when a guy goes in to buy a plate of lamb chops, they want the same size lamb chop every meal eating experience they have.
With consistency in mind, they only buy bulls from closed herds and build theirs with marbling and docility.
We're looking at longevity of production. We're looking at ease of maintenance. We're looking at ease from disease resistance. The less we have to keep them to stay healthy, it helps us in our bottom line. It helps us in our margin.
The men find less market incentive for an animal with superior quality in the sheep industry. But those premiums are building in the cattle business.
The reward by putting a high quality product that people enjoy is tremendous. It's so self-satisfying.
Chasing that reward sometimes means culling a cow based on a lack of performance, no matter how pretty she may look along the California coast.
The cow that's your production unit, and she's a very expensive production unit, and you want the most efficient ones on the ranch, not the ones that are costing you money or not giving you the maximum production.
Consistency. That's the beginning and the end. Because even in a down market, Hamilton says quality, like the certified Angus beef brand, will always sell first.
If our product's going to have a CAB brand on it, that it's the best quality and most consistent quality we can produce. And I think that gives us a lot of pride, and how that pride comes back is when the customers that we're selling to come and want to get more calves from us.
I'm Bob Cervera.
Come back after the break for this week's Plain Talk.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
I was in an accident where I fell off a roof. I don't know why I started to research stem cells, but I did. And I visited with the doctors. They were excellent. I had my neck done, my shoulders done, section of my back, my hips, my sacrum, my sciatica, and my tailbone. Now I am having better range of motion in my arms and my neck and my back. It was a long road to get there, but I'm so glad that I found them.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to today on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Duane Toews.
Kyle Bauer, your fact or...
Wait. You promised me I could do the fact or fiction.
All right. We're going to let it slide
Duane Toews,
one time.
Fact or fiction?
Yes.
10% of the electricity in Kansas is produced by wind.
10%, exactly 10%?
Well,
at least
probably
10%.
Varies on how hard the wind's blowing that day.
No, it really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Okay.
No, there's a lot more technicality to producing wind.
True or false? Fact or fiction?
It's fact. We get 10%. Yeah, I'll go with true.
I kind of see. I'm not used to doing this.
You got to learn how to lie better.
I knew it's 19%.
Well,
but if it's 19, then it's 10.
Yeah, I get a win.
Yeah, according
win
to this,
for Duane.
All right, 19% of our electricity in Kansas comes from wind energy.
Really?
Now some of it gets exported,
sure.
But our total capacity that we use, that's got to have come on big. I mean, 10 years ago, I bet it wasn't 2%.
Not in Kansas, probably.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Now, there's the next question for you, though, Duane Toews.
Yes.
Which one has more wind energy production, Oklahoma or Kansas?
Oklahoma.
Not by a lot, though. Just it's pretty close to the same.
They're building them down there, too.
Iowa or Kansas?
Oh, Kansas.
No, Iowa almost
really?
Twice as much.
The Ioweenies.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, Minnesota has as much as Kansas does, very similar amounts.
Huh.
Yeah, I would have never understood why that was. Yeah, me too.
I didn't really think of Iowa as being a windy place.
Well, and it's got enough hills.
You don't need a lot of wind. You need a steady wind.
Right. And they have enough hills that you get up on a hill and you get it another 300 feet in the air.
Right.
I've been up on some of our radio towers, and it's amazing. Sometimes on the ground there is no wind, and you get up even 100 feet. And there's a nice steady breeze. Yeah. Very seldom.
Well, that's how that whole deal with airplanes happens that way. They get up in the air.
Okay.
And you get a pretty good tailwind. You can make up time in a hurry.
Okay, I had no idea where you were going on that because it's like airplanes don't go by just the wind,
No, they got those engines.
Yeah,
on the
they
wing.
get up in the air and then the wind just takes
it.
Yeah, no.
Don't even put a sail out.
Yeah, that was Duane Toews, not Kyle Bauer. Do not call me. So what state in the nation generates the most wind power?
Texas.
Exactly, by far and away. 4 times as much as Kansas.
They're 4 times as big as we are.
Well, yeah, population, they're even more than that.
Yeah, but it's landmass.
Well, okay, if it's a landmass thing, then California, how much do they?
Yeah, they get a lot more solar in California.
Okay, so do they produce more or less than
Kansas?
Kansas, right?
They produce more.
Yeah, by twice as much. Well, if it's just a landmass thing, how about Arizona? I mean, they got a lot of landmass there.
Yeah, there's not much wind in Arizona.
Well, you're right. No, there's hardly anything generated there, so... Yeah.
I bet if you had solar numbers for Arizona, it might surprise you.
Now,
I've read somewhere that solar is the fastest growing of the renewables.
I think there's a lot of people believe that technology is just on the edge of being affordable for a lot of people.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor. We're here every Tuesday on Ag AM in Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.